I am Rico Bullthorpe, and this is Uncut News. With just 2 days left until healthcare workers go on strike, the management of the Georgetown Public Hospital are already making preparations for the disruption in operations such a move would cause. In a notice received by all heads of department, Director of Medical and Professional Services Dr. Fawcett Jeffrey listed some important measures that will be required in anticipation of the strike. Such measures included reducing services to only emergencies, suspending all outpatient activities, discharging patients, eliminating visitation, and providing home care plans for patients who are not severely ill. Good news for all you Guyanese out there in need of a home. The Central Housing and Planning Authority has said that it is lowering the cost for house lots. In fact, categories of low-income house lots will even go for less than $100,000. According to the ministry, this is part of the government's promise to make the cost for acquiring a house lot more affordable. But my only concern is about the lending agencies. If the banks don't increase their mortgage lending, then all you're going to end up with is creating barren ghettos with only 2 families living on a street. Kinda like Parfait Harmony. You all want to talk bad about Sophia, but you couldn't even pay me to live in Parfait again. Robberies and home invasions, it's a team sport over there. On Thursday, the Prime Minister, Brigadier Mark Phillips, announced the beginning of a public education campaign dubbed Operation Koficker. According to the Prime Minister, by next Tuesday, the public will see an increase of measures to reinforce the Rona preventative protocols. Around 500 members of the joint services, in addition to 4,500 volunteers, will be involved in the operation. The GDF will assist the police in the enforcement of the prevention protocols. Yes, that also means the enforcement of the curfew. Best Buy Auto Sales is Guyana's #1 auto dealer. Their prices are competitive, and they sell their vehicles with warranty, so you can have some peace of mind. Visit their showrooms at 171 Peter Rowe Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamaha Street, Georgetown, and find out about their special Christmas deals. One of the world's foremost agencies in forensic anthropology is preparing to support the investigation into the murders of Joel and Isaiah Henry, as well as Harish Singh. The Argentine team of forensic anthropology, which has worked on high-profile cases in many parts of the world, has offered to send a team to the nation, including a forensic pathologist, a forensic anthropologist, and a forensic radiologist. The team will also bring the equipment that they need. This morning, 54-year-old Christopher Howes was charged with the rape of a woman who allegedly stabbed him in the groin in retaliation. Howes was not required to plead to the charge. He was released on $100,000 bail and ordered to keep away from the victim. He was also ordered to report to the Rumvelt police station fortnightly. He is expected back in court on October 19th. Remember last week when I told you about the old guy on the west coast that went all Cain and Abel on his brother? Well, on Thursday he got slapped with a manslaughter charge. 64-year-old construction worker ONeil Jordan of 66 Denamsta, West Coast Demerara, was not required to plead to the charge. Jordan was placed on $400,000 bail and will be back in court January 27, 2021. After receiving the green light to start the Payara development, 30% stakeholder in the Starbrook Lock, Hess Corporation said that it will invest approximately US $1.8 billion into the Payara development, excluding pre-sanction costs and floating production storage and offloading vessel purchase cost. The company announced recently that it has made the final investment decision only after it got the go-ahead from the government on Wednesday. You already know what I'm going to say. Drill, baby, drill. Now, it's time for your daily Rona update. In the 99th hour, the government has decided to delay the reopening of the borders until October 12th. As for today, the nation recorded 39 new Rona cases. The total number of deaths now stands at 85. There are now 15 persons in the ICU and 927 persons in home isolation. The total number of known cases in the country is now 2,968. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth, and mask up before you leave the house. When you do, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds. If you can't, remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. Robbery season is back, people, which means the thugs are out there trying to score off your hard-earned belongings. Well, if I were you, I would consider getting security for the home or business. Chef Security Service is a good choice. I find that they are the most professional with well-trained, armed, and unarmed guards. Get some security this Christmas, people. Now, let's take a look at news in the region. This week, the US Congress passed H.R. 991. This is a piece of legislation which extends the United States Caribbean Basin Trade Partnership Act, the CBTPA, through 2030. The CBTPA is a preferential trade agreement that provides for duty and quota-free access for products manufactured in designated beneficiary Caribbean Basin region countries. These include St. Lucia, Barbados, Belize, Curacao, Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course us. Antigua and Barbuda has joined the growing list of islands beckoning visitors to work from their shores. The twin island has launched its Nomad Digital Residence Program. This program allows persons from around the world to apply for a special 2-year work visa. Now, before you get excited and try to go just so you can go and overstay your visa, remember the program is designed to attract persons who can meet the requirements of their employers or their clients while working remotely. So, if you're stupid and unemployed, don't apply. But if you qualify, it's nice to note that Antigua does not levy a personal income tax. Don't fall for these get-rich-quick schemes, people. There is a legit way you can earn some extra cash to supplement your existing hustle. Sell top-up. You could become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. And now for our weird news story of the day. A woman in Riverside, California recently stole a fire truck and sideswiped 2 vehicles before being arrested several miles away. The engine had damage to the front bumper and a mirror. Engine number 8 was idling outside a home where firefighters were treating a heart attack victim when moments later dispatcher received a report of a woman driving the engine and notified the firefighters. This began a 10-minute high-speed chase with police that went onto the highway before hitting 2 cars and eventually stopping on an exit ramp. The cops caught the woman and charged her with suspicion of grand theft auto and driving under the influence of drugs. She also had a felony narcotics warrant out for her arrest, so it looks like she might have been some sort of junkie gone mad. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So, you give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday's question was, do you think we are ready to open up the borders and to lift the curfew? Veloraptor said, opening the borders will increase the cases dramatically. Current cases are 2,894 deaths at 80. I guess that's for the other day, but still, he's absolutely right. Readjusting the curfew to 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. is a gamble, as the government is looking to gradually reopen. We understand the private sector is suffering, and as a result, pay cuts and increased unemployment has occurred. However, we, the people, have our family and loved ones whom we want to see in 2021. Decisions aren't always easy to make. Deadly virus can kill everyone versus having people suffer in a shutdown economy. Carl Somwa said, if the government opens our ports, then there's a possibility we will have a surge in cases. But as far as I can see, the world has no choice but to try and live an everyday average life, cause everything will seize up as we know it if all of us just lock down and rely on a $25,000 relief. And finally, Philip Alsop said, it's a very difficult balancing act because on one side of the coin, there is the health of the people. You want to keep them safe, and then on the other side, there's no economic activity, low unemployment numbers, and the same people will starve for being out of work. Everything will grind to a halt. The new normal will require that everyone follow the guidance on protection because COVID-19 is going to be around for a very, very long time to come. No mask, carry your ass. And finally, Timothy Deodat said, opening the border is good over a lot of issues with people and family abroad who want to come home to visit the family for the holidays. Guyanese don't know how serious the Rona is, so let's open up. Alright people, with some good and interesting answers. It looks like you all had a lot to say this time, but unfortunately I couldn't get to you all. But nonetheless, I leave you with this question. How do you feel about the government's move to lower the cost of house lots? Will it actually result in an increase of home ownership, or will it just create communities of half-built lots like I think? Anyway, think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Until next time, I'm Noriko Bullford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Ha ha! Good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.